for any NFL team to think that he's an embarrassment, to think that he somehow has undermined the league's credibility, their integrity, that he's somehow an embarrassment to a shield is frankly embarrassing in itself. So let me get this straight. Hit a woman, be accused of sexual assault, commit sexual assault. You do all those things. And they don't come out and say they don't call anybody an embarrassment. I've seen far more press conferences of GMs and owners and coaches sticking by their guys amid some pretty murky and disgusting circumstances. But that's all good. But here's somebody who's trying to stand for justice and for equality, and you consider that to be somehow embarrassing your NFL that has no problem employing some people who have done some pretty undesirable things.
They'll never admit this. They'll never admit it. That's why it's always going to be anonymity. It's always going to be an unnamed GM speculating.
Because I'd be embarrassed to think that way too. Well, and I wouldn't want anyone else to know my name either.
Exactly. And they'll always be able to hide behind the perception of his declining play. You mean to tell me they got 64 cats better than him in the NFL?
Okay, Geno Smith. Colin Kaepernick, by the way, has won, what, 4 playoff games? 3 of them. 3
years removed from the Super Bowl.
3 of them on the road.
Wasn't great last year, but you're not going to tell me
Manuel? Really? And look, Mike Glennon is out there getting paid, okay, and has done nothing in this league. So you can't tell me
there's not a roster
that this
spot.
is about the way that he's playing. And by the way, the team was bad. And given how bad they were and how he played,
right,
I think that says a lot. And you know what else says a lot? What his other teammates thought about him.
He got the highest award that can be bestowed upon a Niners player for that organization. So his teammates thought highly of him. The organization thought highly of him. He was not a so-called distraction. But again, look, the good old text says you got to be twice as good to begin with. You had better be 3 times as good if you're going to overcome kneeling for the national anthem. What's most concerning, though, is not so much Colin Kaepernick. That's not the most concerning thing because, look, the Niners haven't completely shut the door, even though they signed, to your point, Brian Hoyer, who I like, and Matt Barkley. So they haven't completely shut the door. I think John Lynch said as much today. But the concern is that, and this is in Freeman's article on Bleacher Report, is this going to be something that discourages other players for standing up or speaking out for social justice issues, even though we all knew this was possible.
And he knew it was possible.
This is why the people that said he was being selfish and drawing attention to himself were always full of it.
Right.
And said he should stay in a backup quarterback's place at the time, we're always full of it. Because this was the price, this is what he was laying on the line. It's very possibility. And this is why his agent felt the need to say he's going to stand next year, knowing that somebody would use his play as cover to say, you know what, we don't want any parts of that. As if answering questions about that is somehow more difficult than answering questions about somebody who's committed a domestic assault or sexual assault situation. They're full of it. But we know what time it is. We knew what time it was going to be a long time ago.
Right.
And here it is, right in front of us.